Last week, our warrior finally forged his first true weapons and armor, including the mighty copper battle axe. This week, we put that gear to the test against the enemies of Westfall, Redridge and Duskwood. So join me as we grind ore, complete quests, and craft stronger gear for our self-forged warrior, inching closer to the ultimate goal, raiding with nothing but gear of our own making. Welcome to CraftedLocked. Now, before diving in, let's recap where we stand. We have the copper chain pants, the copper bracers, the rough copper vest, the copper chain belt, and most importantly, the copper battle axe. At level 13, we're still just a fledgling warrior, but now it's time to take our forged steel into the wider world. Our adventure begins in Westfall. Westfall in retail isn't just about bandits anymore, it's a full-blown crime drama. Right at the Furlbrow farm, we're pulled into a murder mystery with Detective Horatio Lane. He's basically CSI Miami and Azeroth, complete with dramatic one-liners. We're collecting evidence like bloody rags, empty bottles, and footprints, piecing together what really happened to the Furlbrows. But this isn't just one farm's tragedy. Westfall as a whole is collapsing, farmers starving, beggars in the streets, and Defiance propaganda posters showing up on every wall. The Brotherhood isn't gone, they're recruiting. Of course, the classic chores are still here too. Slaying harvest golems, killing murlocs for stew ingredients, and clearing flesh trappers out of the fields. But now they're a part of the bigger picture. Poverty and corruption feed in the Defiance cause. It all builds up to the finale at Sentinel Hill, where the Brotherhood rises in force, and this time it isn't Edwin Van Cleef at the helm, it's his daughter, Vanessa Van Cleef, revealed in a cinematic showdown. For us, every Defiance thief wasn't just another mob, it was a test of whether the copper axe could keep up, and by the end of Westfall, our warriors stood bloodied but stronger. And while I was struggling through these zones, I ran into another problem: BoEs. All throughout the leveling journey, enemies drop bind unequipped greens and blues. Normally, these are a lifesaver, which are basically free upgrades if you get lucky, but that goes against the spirit of this challenge. This isn't just about finding gear, it's about forging it myself. So here's how I'm handling it. Every BoE that drops from me is sent off to a separate character, who sells them on the auction house. I don't get to touch that gold, and I don't get to equip a single piece of that loot. Instead, it all builds up into a big giveaway for you, the viewers. When this series finally ends, all the BoE gold that I've farmed will go straight to one lucky subscriber. All you need to do is like, comment, and be subbed to the channel, and you'll have a chance of walking away with everything this run has generated. It's my way of making sure that this isn't just my journey, it's ours. You're along for the ride, and at the end, someone from this community will literally walk away richer because of it. And at the end of every episode, we will tally up the gold from this character as well, as part of the progression. Alright, enough rambling, let's go check back in with Rambo. After wrapping up in Westfall, we marched into Redridge Mountains, and honestly, the zone started out feeling almost identical to Classic. Spiders, boars, condors, and gnolls. I was pleasantly surprised. That's something I actually love about retail. Even with all the revamps, the zones still keep that classic charm, while layering in these big cinematic campaigns on top. It felt nostalgic, especially since I just played through Redridge again on the vanilla anniversary realms not too long ago. Even though I was literally just there, I still found myself immersed and ready to dive back in. They even kept the Lost Necklace quest, absolutely iconic for Redridge. That one simple quest immediately hit me with that old school MMO feeling. From there, the pacing picked up. After killing off a few waves of murlocs along the lake, I was sent straight into Gnoll territory, stealing supplies and stripping their weapons. And that's when I came across an elite, the Canyon Etin. Naturally, I thought, perfect solo challenge, and I went straight in. Only to find out later that I wasn't supposed to fight him at all. The quest was actually to control him and make him clear boulders for Foreman Oslo. Yeah, lesson learned. Don't punch first to read quest text later. After that, we meet John J. Keyshan, Blizzard's parody of Rambo. He rejoins the fight and rebuilds his old unit, Bravo Company. And this is where the zone goes off the rails in the best way. We're gathering explosives, ambushing orc patrols, and rescuing captured soldiers. One quest even has us sneaking through Blackrock camps in full guerrilla fashion. It's loud, it's over the top, and it feels like World of Warcraft turned into an 80s action flick. The arc ends with Keyshan leading an all-out assault on the Blackrocks. Explosions everywhere, cutscene playing out like a war movie finale. It's one of the most cinematic zone stories in all of retail. For me, Redridge was where the cracks in the copy gear really started to show. I even died once in the middle of Bravo Company's campaign, and that's when I realized this armor wasn't built for a warrior. If I wanted to survive the next stage, I'd need to move on from classic blacksmithing altogether. And here's when I ran into my first real problem. Almost all of classic blacksmithing gear is loaded with agility and stamina. Now, stamina's fine, we'll take the health, but agility, it's worthless for a warrior. We need strength. The stat that boosts our attack power, the fuel for our damage. But copper gear, it just doesn't give it. I wasn't forging a warrior's armor, I was forging a hunter's. That's when I realized to truly grow stronger, I'd need to skip ahead. Classic blacksmithing wasn't going to cut it. Cataclysm gear on the other end, that was the answer. Because Cataclysm blacksmithing is when crafted plates start stacking strength and stamina. Real warrior stats, and that's what I needed to survive. Cataclysm gear also has mastery and crit, stats that we heavily benefit from as an arms warrior. After finishing up level 30 in Duskwood, it was time to set our sights on a bigger goal, Obsidium and Elementium. These two ores were the key to our next transformation. Cataclysm blacksmithing offers a lot of plate sets, but for us, the best choice was obvious, RedSteel Armor. To forge the full set though, we'd need two things. First, to level up my warrior to at least level 35. Second, to mine an absurd amount of ore, nearly 1000 obsidium and 500 elementium. Why so much? Because it wasn't just about crafting. I had to level my blacksmithing along the way. By the time I reached the RedSteel chest piece, I needed a minimum of level 50 in blacksmithing. That meant grinding ore not only for armor, but for skill points. With that plan in place, it was time to hunt for veins. I started in Vashj'ir, and I hated it. The underwater combat, the endless naga, the three-dimensional nightmare terrain, it just wasn't for me. And to make matters worse, I forgot to press record, which is why you suddenly see me at level 32 in Mount Hyjal. Hyjal would be where the real mining began. Mount Hyjal wasn't about questing for me, it was about survival and mining. The place was packed with obsidian veins, but grabbing them was never easy. Pulling 2 or 3 mobs at once almost cost me my life more than once. I even died to a rare spawn near the Firelands raid entrance. Ore by ore, bar by bar, my blacksmithing crept higher. What you're seeing here is hours of grinding condensed down into minutes. Every vein mined, every close call survived, every ore bringing me one step closer to RedSteel. This was the grind before the glory, the dirty work before the power spike, and I wasn't stopping until I had the steel I needed. After hours, and I mean hours, of mining and smelting, we finally returned to the forge. Piece by piece, the work came together. A new belt, boots, chest plate, our very first shoulders, leggings, bracers, and at last, helmet worthy of a warrior. There was one final component left, the weapon to complete the set, the Obsidium Executioner. Oh, and the gloves. I forgot to craft earlier those two. But now at last, witness our warrior in his full glory, the RedSteel Champion. This was our first real power spike, from copper scraps to RedSteel steel. But this is only the beginning. Next time, we'll push deeper into the challenge and face enemies that even RedSteel might not withstand. If you made it this far into the video, thank you, it really means a lot. Right now our giveaway alt is sitting at 3,638 gold and it's climbing. all of that will go to one lucky subscriber at the end of the series. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment to enter the giveaway. I'll see you all in the next one.